So big driver head-to-head comparison video for you today. Two big hitters what we found has been performing extremely well in our fitting sessions. We've got the new Cobra DS Adapt against the Callaway Elyte. Let's get them head-to-head. Okay, so as I mentioned, two really good drivers for 2025. So we've got the Adapt from Cobra, which has been performing extremely well, great looking golf club. And of course, we've got the Elyte, huge launch from Callaway, and has been performing extremely well again, and very sort of well used out on tour. So let's just do a little comparison between the two clubs, just in terms of a look to start with. And we see some similarities here between these two drivers. We've got matte finishes, maybe a little bit more of a grayer finish with the Elyte against a little bit more of a darker matte finish of the Cobra. Both sort of very similar on the shapes. Maybe the Cobra just been a little bit more elongated at the back against the Callaway, a little bit more rounded, but very sort of similar on the actual looks. And then when we flip the heads over and look at the soles, obviously we've got the adjustable weight on the soles here. So the Cobra's got a 3 gram weight at the front, and the Callaway has a 2 gram screw at the front. The Callaway then has an adjustable 13 gram weight at the back, which can be moved into the sort of heel toe or in that neutral position. The Cobra has a 10 gram weight, which is in the centered position, so there's no heel or toe adjustability in the Cobra, so maybe the Callaway has a little advantage on that if you require it. But having said that, these two weights on the Cobras can be flipped, so you can move that 10 gram more forward to give it a little bit of a lower launch, lower spin, whereas the Callaway, you can't do that. And just a quick shout out to our channel sponsor at the moment, ELG Golf. Appreciate their support, and they make fantastic football themed head covers and accessories. So if you support a team, head to their website, the link's in the description down below. You can support your team through your head covers on your golf bag. There's a discount code there which will get you 15% off any of the products on their website. Go and check it out. Okay, so we'll start things off. We'll hit a few shots with each, and we'll mix it up a little bit so we're not getting too much of a run with each of these golf clubs. Got the same shaft in both of these, exactly the same, both 9-degree heads, and I've got them set on the neck sleeves at 9 degrees. So we'll start off with the Elyte. So sits incredibly square. This is a standard Elyte. Obviously they've got triple diamond, which is more of a compact head, a little bit more low spin, and then of course you've got the X, which can be made a little bit more forgiving and also a little bit more draw biased. Okay, good solid hit, a little bit on the left hand side, but very powerful flight on that to move things off. Good strike, launch pretty decent, spin quite low, touching that 300. Nice start with the Elyte. So as we know with the Elyte, tons of technology, AI face. We've got loads of carbon on the crown there, which is obviously saving weight, distributing. I think the comments maybe from the bottom of the golf club, it hasn't been the best look and the sole of the club. Obviously we don't see that in the playing position or affects the performance, but maybe just as a quality of the look of the Elyte, maybe has had some mixed reviews from people, but I think in that playing position it looks very cool. Again, just a bit up the left, but a great strike, great sound. That carbon sound, as we're going to see from probably both of these drivers, to be honest, there's a lot of carbon in them. That's a better one, a bit more straighter. Great flight on that. Yeah, lovely ball flight. Quite as quick on the club head speed, so ball speed down a little bit, but the launch spin pretty good, 291. Okay, let's move into the Cobra. Okay, so DS Adapt. So we've got, again, matte finish, a little bit darker than we see with the Elyte. We've still got this sort of front sort of edging, which we do see on the Elyte, which is a little bit darker to the grayer finish on that, but this is now, again, matte black, slightly darker, not as much carbon effect. I mean, you have to look a little bit close to see the carbon effect on that, but just looks very sort of stealth out. Blackish face there, a little bit grey in the heel and the toe. Just got the Cobra logo in the middle, and of course we've got the 33 settings of that neck sleeve. I've got that set A1, so standard lie, playing at 9 degrees, which is the head, and this is the X model. So again, there's a couple of other models, LS for more low spin, and then you've got your Max for obviously a little bit more forgiveness, and also the Max D as well. Nice sort of shape in the head, as I say, a little bit more elongated in the Cobra against the Elyte. Oh, that's a good strike again. Great sound. Very similar sound, I would say, probably to the Callaway. Get decent club head speed, 162, 2-1 spin, 303. Very good indeed. So I think for me, Cobra over the years have just got better and better in their products. You know, I think you look back at maybe the BioCell era. Obviously, it was a few years ago. It was all about bright colours, one orange colour. You could have a blue-headed drive, you could have a white-headed drive, a black-headed, all that sort of really wild sort of colours. And then I think over the years, just got better and better and better. And they're now making, for me, some great quality products. And it's interesting when you listen to some people as they come in for a fitting, you know, and you put a Cobra in the hands and they go, wow, didn't expect that from a Cobra. And you still get some of those comments there. So definitely making a mark in this driver category and starting to really stack up against the big boys. And I think they have done that for a few years now. Okay, again, good strike there. Just, again, bit pulling up that left-hand side for me, but getting out there nicely. Ah, that's solid. Great straight ball flight. Looks pretty long, felt very solid. Strike was great. Nice launch, good spin. Very, very tidy numbers there from the Cobra. Okay, let's move back into the Elite. Solid again. I think the feel of both of those drivers are very similar, if I'm being honest. There's not much splitting it between those two. The sound, just the feel off that club face. The ball flight looks so similar there. And the numbers, again, are pretty similar as well. We're going to look at those a little bit more detail at the end. Now, let's talk about the neck sleeve, because we've got quite sort of different neck sleeves from these two drivers. So Callaway, they've done the OptiFit system for a long, long time now, and I'm a big fan of it. I love the fact that you can adjust it around, yet it doesn't change the grip positioning or the shaft orientation in the club itself. So we can move up 2 degrees, up to 2 degrees on the loft, down by 1 degree. We've got a more upright setting, which is your draw setting. So there's quite a lot of options there to suit players' sort of launch, spin, and maybe even shot shape as well. Oh, that's solid. That's nutted. It's not going to get any better than that. That felt fantastic. Beautiful numbers. Again, good smash. If only we could hit drivers like that all the time. Okay, let's jump back into the Cobra. Right, so let's talk about the Cobra adapter. Very, very different from what we've seen before from Cobra, and it gives us so many options, 33 of them. Now, my review video, I did sort of say that is quite a complicated system, and that was my first glance of that, and I still stand by that. When you look at that neck sleeve and you take it out and you whiz it around, there's so many letters and numbers, it is pretty like mind-boggling. Having said that, that is probably more for the consumer looking in. You look at that, and I know for a fact, many comments I get is some golfers just don't like all this adjustability because it's just confusing because really they don't know where to put it. Now, Cobra do a very simple graph, which really does simplify it, and it is fantastic. But for me as a fitter, it is brilliant. I've got so many more options to suit so many different types of golfers. You appreciate your golfers in the studio. I get all sorts of swings, all sorts of club deliveries, all sorts of strike patterns, all sorts of shot shapes. And sometimes certain clubs don't get into a setting that I could help that golfer more with, where the Cobra has all of those settings. I'm a big fan of it. We've seen some great results and fittings. Oh, that's a good strike. Great flight. I don't think there's much split in these two drivers at all. They both feel very similar. Slight different look of appearance in that playing position, but not by massive. Some different options on the sole, depending what you're wanting out of a driver. I think it's probably been a case of you just sort of edging between one brand and another, a little bit of feel and your sort of preference in the way. But in terms of numbers, I don't think there's much split in those two clubs. Okay, there's another one hit with the Cobra. Again, very good ball flight. So I'm just going to throw the numbers up between these two drivers, and as we do that, we're just going to talk a little bit about price point, because again, historically Cobra has always been that slightly lower price point. Prices have crept, as we all know, over the last few years, and the Cobra has gone up in price, but it is still a fraction cheaper than the Elite. So the Elite at the moment is coming in at £499. The DS Adapt is coming in at $469, so a fraction cheaper. Probably not a lot in it if there's a difference of performance for you that would maybe swing it one way than the other. But post comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. Are you a Cobra or are you a Callaway? Hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.